My name is Sage Francis. Boing, oing, oing.
Hey, I'm not Sage. I'm Dibbs.
I'm Dose.
Hey, I'm Slug.
I'm Buck.
And I'm Gel.
This is Prem Rock.
And this is Curly Castro.
This is Brother Ali, and you're watching DOD45.
45.
Keep it right here. There's a lot of things happening here that you're not going to get anywhere else.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
DOD45. This is the DOD45 Show, drawing over discussions 45 minutes with a special guest. Welcome. I'm your host and resident artist, Tai of ArtByTai, joined by my awesome co-host, Adrian Taiwali'i. In each of these DOD45 episodes, we sit down with a special guest, someone we admire and are inspired by, and we dive into meaningful discussions. But here's the twist. While we're chopping it up with our guest, I'll also be creating live artwork that unfolds in real time. I set a 45-minute timer, grab my pen, and create a one-of-a-kind piece of art for our guest while we chat. So stick around to experience the creative process in action, hear some great stories, and maybe even learn something new and unexpected about today's guest. Peace.
DOD45.
Hello, Earthlings. Hello, fellow humans.
People of Earth, how are you?
Hello, Adrian.
Yo, Adrian. We did it.
Adrian. Hey. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the DOD45 Show. We're back. We're back for Series 8. Everyone, I hope you're so excited, because I am. I think we're in our new time slot right now, which is Tuesday nights. That was Adrian's idea, but I think it's a pretty good idea. It gives you more time to catch up if you miss the premiere. So if you miss the premiere this Tuesday night, you have all week to get caught up. I think it probably makes sense. Also, why did you want to change that to Tuesdays?
Because I want to go see 18 and Counting's circuit bending. No. Synth.
His synth shows on Wednesday nights.
I think Soul would, our little young Soul would have fun.
Yeah, it's cool.
Synthing it up.
So yeah, we're on Tuesday nights for now. We'll see.
And plus Love is Blind seems to be on Wednesdays, and apparently everybody loves Love is Blind.
Well, who the flip is skipping DOD45 to watch Love is Blind? If you do that, you need to reconsider or check yourself or whatever. Your priorities are fuzzed. Hey, the live chats. If you're watching the show and you didn't know, you can get in on the live chat. We often are in the live chats. They're always popping off, so jump in there. And tonight we have the legendary
Roots Crew.
Sage Francis.
Surgically remove the needle from the groove, toss it into the turntable, coughing with the ones and twos. The 86, but I remember 99. You was the shit without a 12-inch. If you say you rhyme, be prepared to battle. So many riders scared to get in the saddle. This horse whisperer careers got ruined. Clap your hands to what he's doing. The proven underground overlord.
All right.
Oh, shouldn't be clapping. Not because it's Sage, but because it hurts my pinky. Hey, couple of changes for Series 8. Nothing too crazy, but we'll just let you see for yourself what those changes are instead of me running through them.
Cool.
Yeah. The main thing, though, is I'm pushing to stay within the 45-minute window. That's definitely going to be a bigger goal. For this year. We'll see how that goes. Quick shout out to some of the folks we're happy to be affiliated with. Jake Hoffman from Wyoming Out Loud. He's an awesome show photographer.
Right.
Yeah, awesome. Good dude, too. So I'll give him a shout out to him.
We saw him when we saw Sage.
We ran into him in Bozeman. We'll get to that. Yeah. Also, shout out to Hands Made Collective for putting out vinyl, making tangible items, celebrating this music for you people. Also love to Growhaven up there in Michigan, AWOL1 at Speaker Face, Mr. Dibbs, and of course, Strange Famous Records. We're stoked to be affiliated with those people, as always.
Also,
all right.
Just hey, what's up to Andrew at Mark of the Bistro in Salt Lake City?
Yeah.
Right?
Sure, yeah, why not? Yeah, we recently...
He's pushing indie stuff constantly, so...
He is pushing indie music and the indie scene in Salt Lake City, Utah. And
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic because Salt Lake City is being gentrified. A lot of people are moving into Salt Lake City, and one of the main complaints people always had about Salt Lake City was, oh, there's no culture in Salt Lake City, blah 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 blah, all that nonsense that people always say. So all this influx of people come in and they start building all these really cool hipster things, but then the real underground culture starts to disappear. People only go to those fancy, what are they called? Like fancy
menus, clubs,
bars,
restaurants.
and they're really cool places, but they're really sterile. They're like so clean and so produced that they kind of don't feel like that griminess that is.
Sometimes you need a little grit.
Yeah, and Andrew that runs the Mark of the Bistro, he owns that place. That place has got the grit, and they're having independent music playing there. Same with where else did we just go?
The
Kilby Court.
Kilby Court.
Yeah, Kilby Court's still a cool place to catch.
It is.
To catch, most of the people that listen to our show, most of the guests who've been on our show, a lot of hip hop artists who are touring hip hop artists, they at one point or another in their career performed at Kilby Court.
Yeah.
And for all of you people out there that don't know, Kilby Court still exists.
Yeah.
They now put on a massive block party show at a different location. Like a couple years ago, Run the Jewels was there. But the club itself in that tiny, it's a little dead end street basically in a garage. That place still exists. We just went and saw a show there for Adrian's birthday. Man Wolves performed there, and it's a tiny little spot, but you feel that energy of independent music. It's really cool. So yeah, show some love to Kilby Court. Show some love to Mark of the Bistro. The place is called Beehive. The music venue part of that is called the Beehive. Yeah. It's also a vegan restaurant. Okay, cool. That's cool. I like to give shout out to music. Also, if you're in St. Louis, Terror Tacos, that's a spot. That's a really cool spot. That's doing cool shit, and they're affiliates of ours. So, all right, there's some affiliate. Hey, here's some updates before we get to Sage Francis. Let's do a few updates. What have we been doing during the break? We're currently still dealing with the Spotify situation. Losing the old account was a pain in the ass, but it may be a blessing in disguise. It's forced me I'm re-uploading all the past episodes, but I'm making everything more coherent. All the graphics are all the same now, and there's actually show notes, because before I kind of didn't really do show notes, so it's kind of been a blessing in disguise. By the time this episode's out, I don't think I'm still done uploading episodes. I'm doing two or three or four or five, sometimes 8 a day. Oh. We're 100 episodes plus, so re-uploading all of those have been kind of a deal. Plus, we're focused on the YouTube part of the channel, so best place for you to catch this show is on YouTube. But obviously, if you listen to it on Spotify, when I say Spotify, that I'm including that as in Apple podcast, all streaming services. Okay. Also, we saw Sarah Silverman in Salt Lake City, Utah.
We did
recently. Adrian, what do you mostly remember about that?
Just you having to pee.
I knew you were going to say. I had to pee so bad, and we went to the wrong place, and we were on foot, and you weren't supposed to take phones into the show.
We were lost.
and it was on the college campus. And so there's cameras everywhere, so I couldn't just pee. No one knew where this place was. Oh,
you were throwing a fit.
I was throwing a fit. I really was.
I couldn't stop laughing at your fit.
It would have been funny to see camera footage of that, because Adrian was laughing and I had to pee so bad. And sometimes when you have to pee that bad, it's like, and I knew we weren't going to be anywhere near, we couldn't, and we were lost. Oh my God. And I was acting like a child, and Adrian was just laughing. And that made it worse. Oh, what the fuck are you laughing at? Anyway, Sarah Silverman was funny. She was working some new material. Yeah. Both her parents kind of died. It was really insightful, but a lot of sadness. So there was like huge laughs, but it was still it was a good show. Mm-hmm. The Imagine the Fun tour. We're gonna Adrian and I went to Bozeman, Montana to catch the opening show, their kickoff night of that tour. That's Sage is coming in today. We're going to recap all of that. But that was a really dope night.
That was cool.
It was a lot of fun. Bozeman's a cool town, a cool spot to catch a tour like that.
And I was constantly impressed. Well, first of all, I was impressed that night when Sage did his, what Kath calls his 9-inch nails dance. And
where he's freaking the mic stand?
yeah, and people continued to post that as he toured around because he did that everywhere. But I have to say how impressed I am with him being able to like get low in a like with a straight back. I cannot do that.
It's all in the thighs.
My
and
knees
the quads.
would absolutely give out. I cannot do that without leaning forward. And so I was really impressed with that.
I wonder,
move.
did you catch footage of that?
No.
If so, maybe we'll try to share some of it here. Yeah, it is.
Even
crouches,
just
he
thinking
gets
about
way
it
down.
hurts my knees.
Well, you got it. It's all about the quadriceps and the thighs and the hamstrings.
Really impressed that he can do that.
The show was fantastic. I hope any of you got out there to go see it. Hopefully they'll do this tour, that same tour in the other cities, in the main cities. But I thought it was an awesome thing to do for the smaller.
Yeah, it was awesome. And your video looked great.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I did the the accompanying video for Mr. Dibbs' set, and I'm like crazy proud of it. I hate I'm humble about like my art and stuff. I don't go on and on like, oh, check out. But every time someone like would post or someone would say something, I'm like, how'd you like that video?
Well, it turned out really, really good, and you spent a ton of time on it. So.
I did. Well, a ton of time in a 7-day span.
I think it was much longer than that. It
didn't
seemed
really
like months. It seemed like it took you months.
It seemed like that, but I worked like straight hours. It was like 4 or 5 days in a row, sleepless, like 24-hour days, because they needed it by the 12th. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it really was. So yeah, the tour was dope. It was dope to be there for
obviously
opening night.
Atmosphere, always great.
Yeah, he's been doing it so long.
Yeah.
They just Slug and Atmosphere is a well-oiled machine. Those guys.
Everyone
they have
did
never
good.
stopped
Everyone
touring.
did so well.
It's a great show, and if you experienced it, you know. On our way back from Bozeman, Montana, we were driving, and our brand new Ford F-150 that you've heard in past episodes, the light came on again. And we found out the motor had to be rebuilt. 54,000 miles on a Ford F-150, and the motor had to be rebuilt. So that was a whole nightmare that the way we dealt with this, we had to upgrade to a new truck. So we have a brand new Super Duty F-250 diesel truck that we currently can't afford right now.
But it's one of those things that we didn't realize we needed more power anyway. So it works out. We'll just try and get it paid off faster.
Yeah. That's one of those things you have to deal with when you operate your own business. Right after that Bozeman show, like literally like the next week, we went to San Francisco, which was really cool because that trip lined up perfectly with the Co-Defendants show. We weren't going there to see the Co-Defendants show. They just happened to be performing there in San Francisco while Adrian and I were there with some close friends of ours. Yeah.
San Francisco, I feel like, has grit.
San Francisco has some grit, but they also have some money.
Do they, though?
Yeah, they do. Outskirts of it. The Co-Defendants show was awesome. They always put on a great show. Also, Get Dead performed. They were the opening band. I've never seen Get Dead live. Sam King that dude really lays it all on the line when he performs. And he did a whole set and then did another whole set for the Co-Defendants. And I was just like, how is that dude's heart still beating?
Yeah, he's a great performer.
And then so is Chesky. Chesky turns into a whole other human being when he's up on stage. Mm-hmm. He turns into like beast mode, and he lays it all on the line. So it's a great show to catch. They're currently on tour. We'll be talking about it towards the end of this episode, but we're supposed to be recording with Co-Defendants in Las Vegas in a couple of weeks. So finally, looking forward to doing that. And then right after the San Francisco, we landed on a Sunday night. Monday morning, we went to New York City with our kids and had a blast in New York City. I'll spare you the details of all that. It was a good family time for us. And then we also got to go have a nice dinner with Swell from Meter Maids and his family in Brooklyn. And that was a really nice evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool to be able to sit with them and
he's
our
got a great
kids.
family.
Yeah, and we connected, and his wife, Swell's wife. We were wondering if maybe I'm related to her brother-in-law,
Oh, that's
who was
right.
adopted from Salt Lake City, Utah.
Right.
I asked him to send me pictures. It'd be interesting, but she was kind of. It was bizarre for her to meet.
Yeah, she was having a
'cause-
hard time watching you going. She was watching all your mannerisms going.
Yeah.
This is all exactly like my brother.
Yeah,
What is happening?
Which was funny. And then our kids got along really well with Swell with their son.
Yeah, one of their kids was sick, so
one of
only
their
one
kids was sick.
made it. But
Yeah, that was a really great time.
Hey, family, I'm a little surprised you're not going into the little Alex Horn and Greg.
Well, I don't know. People, I'm gonna. We have
No,
a
that's
lot to
fine,
go
that's
over.
fine. Okay.
Well, I will say the reason we went to New York City was a family trip to go see a live. The premiere of the first episode of this TV series, this British TV series that me and my kids love, and it's called Taskmaster, and it's one of my favorite shows. Well, they have an American in the episode in this season, and so they premiered the opening episode of this season in New York City, and both Alex Horn and Greg Davies were there in person. And it was like a Q&A situation, and then they premiered the show, and it was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, I love those two people. I particularly really love Alex Horn. That dude's like a comedic genius in my eyes. I love his mannerisms. I just love his mind, the way it works. So if you've never seen it, there's a show called Taskmaster. It's become quite huge in the U.S.
Yeah, a cult following.
Yeah, which is really cool. You can watch that on YouTube.
Sorry. Ever since we've gotten to Salt Lake, I can't. I'm hoping this goes away when we get back to Missouri. But
Dry
like
throat.
I just had this air or something.
Well, we've also been spending a lot of time in dusty Arizona.
True.
So yeah, after New York, we did some shows in Arizona, sold some ArtByTai stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
And I had hand surgery.
Oh, right. That was a big one.
So you can't see it now, but if you go back and look at old episodes, I often talk with my hands, and you'll see, and every once in a while I bring it up, but my pinky was like bent out like crazy, like almost like a 90-degree angle. Well, no, I'm just saying, I'm exaggerating. Well, I got that pinky taken care of, and I had a bone spur in my knuckle, and I got that taken care of. So it was a pretty heavy surgery. I'm in recovery, and that's good. My hand works. Aid, I guess Sage is here. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let me ask you real quick. Who's your favorite person in the public eye?
Oh shit. In the public.
Do you have
public eye? Public eye. Favorite person. I can't.
We can come back to it.
Who's yours?
Richard Osman and Marina Hyde from The Rest is Entertainment.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We've been listening to a lot of them. They're podcasts that I love, but their personal takes on things are always like on point. They line up with how I feel about things. And what's most impressive to me is their ability to articulate exactly their feelings.
Yeah.
I love that. It's
Yeah.
so amazing.
I do think the editor puts takes out the pauses and things.
But still, they even just the words
Yeah.
they use, they say exactly what they're feeling, and you get it. And yeah. So and then real quick, do you have a favorite strange habit?
Oh, of my own or somebody else's?
Of your own. These are things that I think of that I want to get on record.
Habits.
Well, so here's mine. Okay. I enjoy shaving with a dull blade.
Okay,
Like
well
face
that
shaving.
makes it just a little bit cheaper then. That's good.
I don't use very many blades, but and I also like pulling nose hairs.
Oh, that's gross.
I know, but I'm just that dull blade, like you can feel it.
Yeah.
Kind of makes you feel alive. I don't know. I like that.
You're
And then
okay.
I have thoughts on public restrooms real quick. I'm not embarrassed to use the short John. In bathrooms, there's a John. They're all the Johns are too tall. And I always stand at the short John. That's the perks of being short.
Okay, well, someone's got to use it.
All right, let's crack on. Our guest today is, you can let him in the room while I'm introducing him. It's Sage Francis. He's no stranger to the show. He's a regular at this point. He's fresh off the Imagine the Fun tour with Atmosphere Mr. Dibbs, which we're going to get into today. His new Sage Francis mixtape, a sick twist ending of the Sick of series. 23 tracks of Sage doing what Sage does best. That's only available on Bandcamp or in physical copies, so go grab that. It's a huge honor getting to know Sage over these past few years, and it's a hell of a bonus getting to know the Strange Famous family. So, all right, let's do it. Thank you, Sage, for joining us. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you? I didn't get a chance to test my mic. Is it sounding
that's
all right?
Okay. Yeah, you sound okay. Terrific.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, I also forgot. I was supposed to cut to that. Adrian has a segment. She's so
bitchy.
No, she's so infatuated with what Cass One will eat. Yeah. So she's come up with a segment for the show called "Will Cass Eat It?" So we sent him a text, and he's supposed to respond with a video response back to if he would eat this thing. So hopefully that played right before we went into this.
The main thing he likes to eat is D's. There's nothing outside of D's.
Hey Cass, I'm wondering, would you eat a full serving of mushy peas? I can't remember if you've been to the UK, and I'm hoping you've tried this beloved British staple. So mushy peas are made from dried marrow-fat peas, which have been soaked overnight, sometimes with baking soda, and then simmered until they turn into like a smooth, brilliant green puree, and then they're kind of lightly salted. So I'm just wondering, could you eat a full serving of mushy peas?
I mean, I don't feel like that would taste gross. I feel like the texture of smushed peas or mushy peas is like not in my wheelhouse. It looks like something that young Reagan would expel from her orifices. And I certainly would not eat it with some fucking cod or whatever the fuck that was with buffalo chicken sauce on it. I feel like I would try it. I wouldn't like, I mean, that's baby food. The UK is like an abomination when it comes to food, and this is why, because they eat like fucking infants when they're, eating shit they fished out of sewers, apparently. I mean, I'd try it though. I would try. I mean, that would probably, whatever you're gonna ask me next, I probably won't eat that, but this is on the lighter end of it, but absolutely not that cod. You understand?
Peace, world, and welcome to the DOD45. And today is very special because we're on Series 8. And you know what that means. We have the majestic Sage Francis. Yes, hold on to your radios and warm up to your favorite podcast, DOD45. I am AWOL1, your friendly neighborhood rap dude who likes to draw things. Have a great day.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
DOD45. Well, all right. Welcome to the DOD45 show. Thanks for joining us again.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I'm going to keep it simple today with a sea lion drawing, go figure, in honor of one of your staple tracks. Probably, I'm only guessing here, but it's probably one of the songs that people expect most that you'd perform at a live show.
Yeah, it's like, especially on the tour, the tour I just did with Atmosphere and Dibbs, people who hardly knew me, that was their song. Like, it's always the Sea Lion is the song that they want. Yeah.
Do you still enjoy performing it, or does it mean something different to you now than when you first wrote it?
No, I love performing that song. That's one of my favorites to do. It's compact. It's got a singing chorus. The crowd knows when to pop in. I don't, there's hand motions. It's like it's the full package for a 2-minute song.
Yeah.
In fact, right before I joined this video, I sent an email off to Epitaph because they're going to repress A Healthy Distrust on vinyl. And we're trying to see if we can fit in the Sea Lion version that has Saul Williams on it. Oh. So I'm not sure I can do that. Like, I'm not sure if there's enough space on the vinyl, but that's an email I just sent right now.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I was going to ask about that. I think maybe a lot of people don't know that Saul Williams was on the original one. Have you, I'm sure you have spoken on it, but it's like beyond me, but why that didn't end up on the album?
Yeah, the version with him, if I remember correctly, didn't arrive in time for when we had already submitted all the songs for the album, but it was, I guess, also specifically made for the 12-inch as like a special extra thing on the Sea Lion 12-inch. So, but yeah, the only place you can hear it currently is on YouTube.
Yeah,
I think it's not even on any streaming services.
Yeah, you guys don't even have it on the Bandcamp or anything, right? Or unless you have, if you have that vinyl, the vinyl.
Yeah, the vinyl, and that's just a very rare vinyl that, you know, I've hoarded like 5 copies for myself that someday I'll unleash. But yeah, it's a pretty special thing.
Yeah, that'd be rad. So yeah, a new repressing of it, that'd be fantastic. I'd love to see it, but obviously only if it can happen. Oh, do you want to? Are either of you guys interested in hearing a quick fact about a sea lion? It'll be really quick. Yeah. Did you know that the sea lions are one of the only non-human mammals that can keep rhythm? They've been known, they can dance.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
They also swim in cursive.
What? Is that? Yeah, I mean, yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah, they swim in cursive language. That's how they communicate.
Do they? Actually,
that's what Saul Williams says in the song.
Oh, okay. Oh.
I do know another fact about them. They can recognize one of their children. A mother can recognize a child just from the sound of its voice. Yeah. So there you go. I'm also going to try to work in Dead to This World, the image of you on his chest here. How old do you suppose you were in the photo that you used for this?
Yeah, that was in 1999 when that photo was taken. Oh, wow. So I was 23.
Wow. Do you recognize 23-year-old Sage Francis at all? Like, do you have
a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah. Does he still exist in you quite a bit, or
no,
has he
not really.
Taken a nap?
Yeah, no, he's not very prevalent. Man, he was a very different person.
Yeah.
He lived a very different life, and it was a magical time and a very confusing time.
Sure.
So, but yeah, I like the that's an image that ended up turning into the SFR logo, and like I continually used it throughout my career because it's always just Mr. Dibbs always talks about it because he used to like get bugged out and say, "Why the hell do I keep seeing this face on everything that you do?" And I was like, that's called branding, man. That's
yeah.
I was like, when you see it, you know what it represents, right? Like, you know who that is and what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that it all stems from that one photo that my roommate took when I was living in Providence. And I used it as the cover for the Sick of Waiting mixtape. And mostly because it looked like I was a heavy metal singer or something. It was just like, you know, the handlebar mustache and just the look of it was not hip hop. And I got a kick out of that because at the time, before that time, I was desperately trying to like really be the most hip hop guy in the world. And I had to drop it at a certain point. Like, this ain't it for me. That's not my way.
Well, and yeah, it's it's synonymous with you, and you had it up on your. I mean, you everywhere you see it, you know, it's Sage. You had it up on the tour as your image.
Yeah, and that the one with the X'd out eyes. That was the first shirt that I ever printed for a Sage Francis shirt. So that was in 2001. So on the back it would say Sage Francis, blah blah blah, 1968 to 2001. And every time we reprint the shirt, we print the year that it was printed in. So this one was 1968 to 2025. And it really wasn't until this year when people saw it, they were like, "Oh, did he die? Oh, you gave me a heart attack." And it's like, because now I'm at the age where it's plausible. Like, like, oh, that kind of makes sense. All right, he's dead now.
I remember seeing that way back when and thinking like that you died. I was like, oh, that really sucks.
Yeah,
but I don't even know where we saw it or how we got it.
Yeah, there's a friend of mine from college who hadn't stayed in touch with me, and then he saw the shirt, and he was so upset, and then he found me online. He was like, "You motherfucker!" Like, yeah, that wasn't my intention. Like, I never really thought of that because it's a lyric on the song from the Personal Journalist song where I just say it like that. I say Sage Francis, personal journalist, 1968 to 2001. So that was the inspiration behind using it on a shirt. But now people aren't so like super familiar with that lyric.
Yeah, but it makes it funny. It makes it something to talk about. Like, yeah, there's if you go into searching, they have those automatic searches. You're prevalent enough in the world that there's a thing that. An automatic search is what happened to Sage Francis. Where'd
you go?
You were born in 68?
No, this is a good story though. I'm gonna tell it.
Yeah.
So because this also has been a frequent question. Why always 1968? Now, when I was 23 years old, when that photo was taken, an acquaintance of mine said, "Man, you're too old. Like." To even think of having a hip hop career, like 23 is too old to start.
Wow.
And I was like, you know what? If I inverted it and I said I was 32, that would mean I was born in 1968. So I wanted everyone to think I was much older than I actually was. And make them think, whoa, this old guy came out of nowhere and he can rap his ass off. Where's he been all this time, So that was the inspiration behind that. But also 1968, the spirit of 1968 in music and politics and activism. I just liked that, having that spirit be involved in, my name.
When you were out, I didn't know that. So when you were out like in the scene and doing battle rap and stuff, were people under the impression that you were 32 years old at the time?
Yeah. I think a lot of people were. Yeah.
Were they using that as a roast, as like you old?
Oh yeah, man. Old man jabs, and even saying my style was old school, even though it was not at all. Yeah. It was like pretty much advanced for that time. But it just was, they thought I was an old guy. I played it up too, I wasn't.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's awesome. All right, so one of the things we're doing in this new season is I'm really gonna. I'm focused on trying to stay to my 45-minute time, so I'm going back to the 45. It is called DOD45. I was wondering, did Dibbs have the brass knuckles? I think I remember having a conversation with Dibbs and him telling me, he was like, Sage was always like pushing branding, and I think maybe that's why he did the knuckles. I can't remember,
yes,
but no.
That is it, yeah. He mentioned that to me on tour as well, but I think he said it to you. He may have said it on an episode, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, the brass knuckles are synonymous with Mr. Dibbs, so you can thank Sage for that. All right, let's do this. I'm going to start drawing. I'm going to kick it. I did some proper questions because I want to hear about the tour, so I came up with some proper questions, and obviously the format of the show. You can go wherever you want with them, with everything. All right, but I do want to start with the Sophie's choice. If the word say, S-A-Y, was suddenly changed to Sage, which song benefits more? Sage My Name, or
I was just gonna say that. Sage My
or Sage It Ain't So.
Sage My Name. I like that. I say that. I say it all the time. It's so dumb.
That's funny.
Sage my name. Sage my name.
All right, let's get into some random things before we hit some tour talk. Have you? This was something I just thought of one night, but I was wondering: have you ever been to a rainbow gathering?
What is a rainbow gathering?
It's like where pardon the expression, but like hippies gather.
Yeah.
Thousands of them, and they just camp in an area for like 10 days straight, and it's like just a big community.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've heard the term before, but no, I've never been part of I think I'd go crazy.
I was wondering if that would be something you would even consider wanting to do.
No, the closest I've come is to that is there's this festival in Germany that I've played twice, and it's like out in the fields and people camp out there, and I get no like signal on my phone, and it's real crunchy. And I remember the last time I was there, I never get bored, but for some reason, like I was like, this is the most boring thing I've ever done. Like I can't stand it. I can't wait to get out of here. And they hit me up this year to do it again. And I'm like, I was like, for how much? And it was like, I don't know what number he could have said that would have made me want to do it, but it was such a low number. I was like, hell no, I'm not doing that. No.
Well, yeah, I've never been to one either. My friends used to go. I have some friends that follow fish, and they go to them all the time. But that's the kind of breed that happens, I guess. But what about a juggalo? What about the gathering of the juggalos? Have you ever attended that?
No, but I was invited to perform at one, and unfortunately, I was already booked somewhere else, and I was like, hopefully we can do it next year. And then I think that's when the pandemic happened. But I would have been down for it. Like, I feel like there's a lot of juggalos who are my fans. Like this crossover, and I think they're used as a punchline so often that people don't really understand how deep and thick that culture is, and how much they go to bat for ICP and all their homies. And I toured with Grand Buffet many times. They're a huge ICP fan, so they put me onto their music. It's not my thing, but I can understand how people would get into it and, really connect with it and have it be their thing. My sister was actually a juggalette, and she was big into it. But I never went.
But I guess that's still, they still do them, right? So that's still.
Yeah. And I'm not, I definitely would love to perform at one.
I
even
guess
if they throw stuff at me, that wouldn't be the first time anyone threw stuff at me.
No, yeah, you're one of the ones that will. When you throw the broccoli out in the crowd, I'm always just thinking like that. That's coming right back at you.
Oh yeah. Unless people like a weirdos who save it and bring it home and put it in their freezer.
Oh yeah. Then I have this other question about Google searches. I believe we've talked about it, or you've posted it somewhere, but you've done one of the Google searches claiming your net worth, right?
Yeah.
How accurate was it?
I don't even know how they get these numbers. I don't know how they could access any financial information from me. But I remember an ex-girlfriend did that. She looked it up and she was like, "Hey, did you see how much you're worth? I saw." I'm like, girl, that ain't me. That is not me.
I know.
But yeah, I was like, who's Sage married to? How much is he worth? Blah, blah, blah. Like, those are funny to look at because they're just kind of crazy and totally false.
I wish I had the amount of money that they claim that I
know.
What does it say for you?
Like millions.
Yes, it said our net worth was 5 or 6 million.
That's about what it said for me too. It said like 7
yes!
million, yeah.
Where is this money?
Those Missouri places are not worth anything.
I think that's the money like certain labels are withholding from me.
Oh, there you go. Spotify.
It's Spotify. All right, let me go back into the 1980s real quick. Do you know why, this isn't like a test you, but our kids were talking about it over dinner last night. Do you know where the term "I'm Audi 5000" came from? Or why we use it as "I'm leaving"?
Well, yeah, because they used to say "I'm Audi," like out, Audi, and then Audi 5000 was a car. So just the ridiculousness of saying Audi 5000.
Yeah, apparently the acceleration on it was, it was based on the car, but then they had some sort of scandal about the acceleration of it. But I just discovered that it was the Audi 5000 car.
That's such an old thing for me, though. Like, at first I was like, why the hell do people keep saying Audi 5000 on all these records I'm listening to? And then when I learned it was a car, I was like, oh, okay. Well, it's just dumb. All right. I can get down with that.
It was used in Reality Bites, and then it was already out before then, but that became real popular after.
So that's when it got gentrified after that point? Okay.
Yep, then it took off. Do you have a particular MC or someone who used it that you can like hear in your head, or that you remember the use of it?
I feel like Flavor Flav must have said it. there's got a lot of West Coast cats.
Yeah, mine's always too short, and he goes, "I'm Audi 5 to my dog house."
Bitch, I'm Audi 5 to my dog house.
I just hear I'm Audi 5000 G. There all has to be a G there. Well, and I was saying this to the kids. Our kids last night, they were like, I'm Audi Foudy or something.
That's what my son kept saying.
I was like, that doesn't exist.
I'm Audi Foudy.
Foudy. And then Nale was saying Audi 5, just Audi 5 or something.
Yeah, that's
like,
the way to say it.
I got to start saying that to my kids. I got to bring back the old slang because the new slang is really, it's not real slang. It's always said as a joke, like skibbity, this and that. But it's like when I say something's dope and they're like, why do you say dope? What is that? I'm like, it means it's really good. And they're like, that sounds dumb. I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry I'm not Sigma enough for you.
How do you feel about sick?
Sick? Yeah. Like, oh, that's sick. That's been around forever.
Yeah.
Like they're using that now again quite a bit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. My daughter uses sick quite a bit now.
A lot of people
I didn't know it ever went away.
Oh, yeah, I don't think it didn't, but people use it for your work all the time.
Now when I hear it, it seems weird to me, but it is sick. I think it was a snowboard culture thing to me, but I don't know where it came from.
I'm still sick. I'm sick of waiting tables. I'm sick of waging war. I'm sick.
All right, final one before we go into tour talk. What is your technique when you're lurking for our Sage's social media lurk segment?
First, I go to their Twitter and I see if they have one, and then I'll scroll their Twitter page as far down as it'll go. And then I'll try to, I'll find the oldest, most interesting thing that they said, or absurd or weird or confusing thing. But it's not easy anymore. It's like things have changed. But so if I don't find anything on Twitter, and now I usually don't, I'll, check out Instagram or Facebook, and it's just become way more hard to lurk on people's past. And maybe that's because that's a meta thing and the next thing, but maybe it's just people realizing, oh, I probably said a lot of dumb things a long time ago. I should delete this.
So you're not lurking any Blue Sky?
No,
one
no
says
Blue
anything
Sky.
on Blue Sky.
I am on Blue Sky, and it's oddly I'm more active than Twitter is now.
Wow.
Okay.
Speaking of tour, I've realized that Twitter really has shit the bed in major ways, because back when I used to tour a lot or do shows, the main place people would respond and show pictures and videos was on Twitter. And it almost never happened on this tour. It was always Instagram, some Blue Sky and Threads. That's it. Twitter is dead. It's dead in a weird way. I mean, it's still going. I still use it. I still enjoy it, but it's obviously lost a lot of its muster since Elon Musk.
Do you have a TikTok, but I don't know. Do you use it? Do you?
I post, my Strange Famous Friday videos, promotional stuff. Sometimes I'll film something that's funny or weird and I'll post it there, but I don't use TikTok. I don't scroll TikTok, and I'm confused a bit by TikTok, and I'm overwhelmed by TikTok, because every time I go on it, I'm seeing a billion notifications that I don't know how to follow. And I'm like, okay, where's all this stuff happening? Okay, 5,000 people did this, or 200 people sent me a message. Please don't send me messages on TikTok. But I don't think they're actually sending me messages. I think maybe I'm tagged in something, and the way they translate it to me makes me not want to look into it. Because
it's messy. It's like you have all these notifications and you're like, but does that have anything to do with me?
But that's their way. I think that's how they got so popular. It's the dopamine. It's like kids who are using it think they're super popular because they're getting a million notifications about this and that. And man, I miss Vine. It was clean. It was easy to use. Vine was my thing. I was very good with Vine. I don't really think I'm going to get too involved with TikTok, but I may. I mean, really, wherever people go, I'm going to have to show up and make it worth their while to check me out.
Yeah, that's part of the business, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go into some of the tour talk. Did you ever find yourself having to imagine fun instead of actually having it?
A lot of times, because it was yes.
Grueling.
So on the Imagine the Fun tour, I drove myself. I booked my own hotel rooms. I set up my own merch table. I sold my own merch, did my own sound check, obviously performed my own show, broke down the merch at the end of the night, settled up, with merch people or the club, drove to my hotel and get ready for the next morning's drive. And it was a lot of work, and it was a lot of me being busy, and it wasn't what I would call fun for most people, but it is fun for me when I'm doing something that I'm engaged in, and I actually know that what I'm doing, so I feel accomplished while I do it. And yeah, but it wasn't like party fun. It wasn't hangout fun. I never really hung out with anybody. There's literally one day I hung out a little bit with Slug. That was it. And that was when we had a day off in Portland, Maine. It was like super snowy, and I had to walk to his hotel, and we chilled in the lobby and ate Chinese food and just talked, I don't know, for about an hour. That was it. Everything else was just go, go, go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was that a more compact tour than you'd have done in the past, or did it feel about the same?
It felt the same. The pros for me are that I'm not the headliner. I'm not responsible for anybody except for myself. And, but yeah, the go process and nature of it, I'm familiar with. So as soon as that tour started, all of my stress and anxiety faded away because it all became super familiar to me. Like, I know how to do this. This is something I've done many times. I understand like what pitfalls to look out for. And I was concerned that I would lose my voice along the way. I was concerned that I would get sick, concerned I would get in a car accident. I was like, all these worries did hover over me. But while I was in the mix of it, I'm like, nah, I'm bossing this. I'm very good at what I do. I know what I'm doing, and I'm happy I get a chance to do it and show and prove.
Yeah, it's all the thinking prior to it that can wear you out.
The preparation, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I, as much as I wanted to, I wanted to prepare more for the tour. I wanted to rehearse. I didn't even rehearse a show. I just went straight into it. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, I just kind of said, all right, jump into the pit of lava, see what happens. Thankfully, there was a couple hiccups the first two shows. I was still trying to find my groove. It took me a very long time to get into the freestyle stuff with Slug at the end of the night, because there's many ways you can freestyle, and the way he does it at his show is not my preference. I'm not comfortable with that. It's like he plays up for the crowd with his freestyle. It's always like including the crowd somehow.
Right.
And I don't like to do that. But when he's doing it, I kind of feel like I have to also do it, or else I'm not playing along, Yeah. So it took toward the midway point, or toward the end of the tour, where I actually really locked in and figured out how I can do that in an enjoyable way for me and still have the crowd enjoy it. But yeah, that was the only really difficult parts that were not fun for me. I got exhausted, but I surprisingly didn't get physically exhausted much at all. There was only like 2 instances where I felt like I was overtired and my body was achy, and I was very like just physically tired. But I was more socially exhausted from dealing with so many people every night, and their expectations of me at the merch booth, and their surprise when they see me work in my own merch booth, because they're not familiar with that.
Right.
And not totally sure how to interact with me, which led to a lot of strange interactions, some great interactions, and some disappointing interactions. Sure. And at the end of the day, to be completely honest, all I want to do is say hi, take a picture, and sell you something, and move on to the next person. And if there's no next person, if the line actually ends at a certain point, I'd like to take that time for myself, check in with my wife back home, just like maybe walk away, and then like people would see that, oh, he's not selling anything right now, I should go up and start a conversation with him. And I'm not good at it. I think I'm too honest, where I'm just like, please read my face. I'm like, I'm not interested in talking right now. I have other stuff I would rather do. And I know this is a special moment for you if you're a big fan of my music. So I'm sorry to disappoint, but like I did, like there was like one thread on Reddit, on Atmosphere's Reddit, where this guy's like, Sage Francis is not it. He was such an asshole to me at the merch booth, which I know is bullshit, because I was cordial to every single person unless it got to a point where they pushed me enough where I had to say, I don't want to do this anymore, or I gotta go away. I'm not here to like have a philosophical discussion that you had with Idea and you're trying to transfer onto me. Right. Like I had to tell one dude straight up, I was like, that's Idea. He was special in that way. That was his thing. And that's not me. That is not me at all.
And you are what? It is an advantage though for you to be able to be pretty honest with people and say like, "This is listen, I'm done, or I need a break." Because I know how difficult it is trying to keep a smile on your face. Like you obviously you appreciate that someone's like appreciates you and they're way into everything you do, but as a human, like you need a break.
Yeah, the constant need to smile, it just hurts your face.
It does.
You're like, yeah. Like you're feigning great enjoyment over meeting people over and over and over and over, and they all almost say the same thing all the time. And you have to pretend like this is interesting to me.
This is the first time I've ever heard that.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean every time.
You're saying, that's what
but
you said.
But the pros, like that is a con of working your own merch booth if you're a musician who has a lot of fans, which I'm grateful to have. But the pros are they're more apt to buy merch from you if you're selling your own merchandise, and they see that you're signing stuff. They will buy more stuff than they normally would, and even they'll tip you, which this hasn't happened in so long. I remember when Napster was huge and LimeWire and Kazaa, all the file sharing sites. People would come to my shows and give me $100 because they downloaded all my albums, and they'd say, here. So that happened for a while, and then it stopped completely for over a decade. And now people are back in the process of it. At least on this tour, they were. One guy gave me $400 in cash.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And I just was like, what is this? He's like, it's for you. It's for you.
Aww.
I'm like, I'll take it. But yeah, that's a lot. Like, thank you very much. So that was awesome. That was like a cool experience. Just see people
huge shout out to that guy.
Yeah. I mean, mostly it was just $5 or extra.
But
like,
still,
keep the change. Keep the change kind of tips.
Yeah.
But there were a few instances where people gave me money because they're like, hey, I have all your albums, or like, I already know all your stuff. And people don't buy albums anymore. They don't want the CD. They don't want the vinyl, but they want me to see compensation for them enjoying the music. So that's how it translated at the merch booth.
I like to hear that because, we're always wanting people to, we need you guys to keep making music. It makes enriches our lives. So I thank those people for feeling that.
There's a great frustration that comes with that though, because not everyone can tour. So all the people who are not able to tour never see that kind of support. And I can't tour forever, and I'm not planning on doing many tours. So it's strange that finally I do a big tour, and that's when they finally show their support, rather than when I'm already like putting out a bunch of material, like always offering merch options, always offering this and that. But you are not going to see proper compensation, until you hit the road and you're right in their face. And there's nothing I can change about that. There's nothing anyone can say that will sway people one way or the other. It's literally the nature of the beast of the music industry. So
if I can relate. Oh, sorry. What were you?
No, it was full up in my face on that tour where I had to like come to the conclusion, like, no, Uncle Sage, you are not going to have a very good career if you're not on the road, like. At least once a year in a big capacity, which I really don't want to do.
And I was going to say, because I can relate to that, because my people who collect my work have always known the work is always available on my website. It's always there. And I'll have people who like, they only will buy from me when they see me in person. And they're always like, "Oh, I wasn't sure if you were going to be here." And I'm like, but you can buy from me online. It's easier for me if you buy from me when I don't have to show up to your city. So I get that, but I don't know what the answer is.
There's no answer. There's no changing it. Just like me telling people that you can't just listen to us on Spotify. You have to find a way to actually compensate us, like buy stuff on Bandcamp maybe. It doesn't matter. People don't want to hear it. It won't process properly. It'll always come off as complaining or me being ungrateful somehow. So I just want to state it for what it is. And I also want to say it so that other musicians understand how this works and why it's important to tour if you're able to tour. And it's very difficult these days. I mean, the oversaturation of the market with so many people putting out music, it's easier than ever to do it. Mid-sized clubs and small clubs are closing left and right.
Did you notice? It's hard to notice on that tour because it was a pretty massive tour. Like large crowds. But I wonder, has etiquette changed at shows? We've been to a few shows where some young people are like full on convert. Like I get when it's like at a bar where there's a guy like that's a background music, but we've been to like shows where people are having loud ass conversations while the show is taking place. I'm like, what the fuck are you people doing?
As a performer, there's nothing more frustrating than because I was an opener, right? So it doesn't typically happen for the headliner because all the people who are up front are camping out up front waiting for the headliner. And I noticed that with a lot of these shows where people weren't really familiar with me. Well, I shouldn't say people. There was a contingent of Atmosphere fans who were not aware of my music or who I am. And a lot of them would camp up in front and wait for my set to be over. I noticed at first. And so they'd be yapping at each other and not paying attention, and like my eye just can't get off of that, and my brain is focused on that while I'm trying to do my thing. And I'll try to engage with them in an entertaining way and not be insulting,
right?
But at a certain point, like maybe I can't contain myself and I'll look at them like, hey, shut the fuck up. And maybe I will actually say it out loud. But I think that's always been like that. At these shows, what's funny is, there was people our age. So people who have grown children now are bringing their kids to the shows. And I overheard a security meeting before one of the shows, before the doors opened. And so they have the security team and they're talking to everyone and they're like, hey, listen, you're right. So, this band has an older fan base. A lot of them are parents. They haven't really gone out to drink for a long time, and sometimes they don't really know how to handle themselves. They're not violent. They don't really hold the liquor like they used to when they were 20, and they don't realize that. So be on the lookout for these people. So
that's awesome. It's funny. So true too.
I saw a lot of that.
Yeah, that's funny. Was there a moment that on the tour that you thought, I am too old for this, and then another where you thought I could do this forever?
No, I never thought I was too old for this. And in fact, I'm consistently surprised whenever someone's like, damn, you still got it. Like, of course I still got it. I've always had it. I've never shown a decline in and I felt like, if I had to, and I was granted comfortable enough conditions, I could do it forever. And if at some point I lose my ability to walk or dance or do whatever, I'd find workarounds. There's so much to do. And especially with this tour, when I figured out the crowd, there was a portion of the crowd who wasn't aware of me. I had to cater to them a little bit just so that they would come on board for my portion of the show. And that took some figuring out, but there's all types of games an entertainer can do, mental games, psychological games that works things into your favor, depending on the crowd.
Can I ask you on that? For people that don't know, like you have mentioned, there were people who were on this tour who never heard of you, which is always a surprise to me. But they're Atmosphere fans, which is a different fan base than your fans. Did you approach that at first wanting to battle those people? Like, wanting to, like, you were like kind of angry, or like you had like intention to be like, fuck you.
No,
towards them?
No. I just wanted to impress them. I'm here to gain more fans.
Yeah.
And this was my perfect bridge toward that happening. Although sometimes when I realized it didn't matter what I said or did or who I was, they simply did not care. They just wanted atmosphere. Those were the people where I would pinpoint. It was like an older couple up in the front row, like older than me, giving me faces while I'm performing. Like, can this be over already? Oh, what's this dance he's doing? Oh, it's disgusting. Oh, this fat fucking weirdo. Why can't we have the fucking cool, charismatic guy?
Do you feed off of that, or does it on a ratio? Does it better for you, or do you find that it affects you?
I don't like it. I don't like it, but I welcome the challenge. You know, when I figured out what was going on, like I said, I did figure out workarounds to my set that would bring people on board with me. So what I found, one big difference I made was at first I was doing best of times at the end of my show. I found if I move best of times to the very beginning and I explained a little bit, because these people need their hands held. Like they can't just they can't make sense of it all on their own. They need someone to tell them what's happening. So best of times like is handholdish enough where I can tell them who I am, what kind of person I am, what I came up with, and I'm like, this is my introduction to you, your introduction to me. I bet you relate to some of this. So then after I do that song, I have carte blanche to do whatever else for the rest of my set.
Good move.
Even like yelling "Free Palestine" at the top of my lungs. Like there was MAGA people in some of these crowds.
Yeah.
You know, like there was one MAGA guy at the New Jersey show who was very pissed off about my music and what I was saying on stage, and he was threatening to fight, and security had to be called.
Wow.
And I was, you know, when I perform, I can get aggressive. My adrenaline picks up. I have laser focus, and I'm convinced I'm invincible. So I don't care who would ever want to fight me, what number of people. I may get beaten up. Maybe I'll get like pummeled, you know, I don't know. But in my head, I'm literally invincible, and I'm going to fuck you up so bad that I'm going to go to jail. So like I'm walking this line, like you can be mad, just don't get in any fights right now. Like do not do it. Do not do this. So there's like 2 instances where that kind of happened on the tour, as opposed to many instances in the past. So we're good.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Speaking on that kind of energy, and I know times are way different, but Dibbs is a legendary wild card.
Yeah.
Were there any moments that you just had to roll with Dibbs doing Dibbs, or does he? I mean, he's definitely like a slower, not slower, but he's he's got a tamed version going on. Like he understands, you know, where things are at. He was cooler than me. Like he had a cooler head than me throughout this tour. Not that I was hot-headed or anything, but like I think he looked at me as like, ooh, I'm going to live some of my wild fantasies through Sage, and I'm going to instigate Sage and try to get him to do some stuff, which he did try to do. Thanks. Well, I had just recently, it could have been a legendary story. I don't really know. I saw in a Reddit feed. There's apparently a time when you let Dibbs puke on you back in 2001.
I don't know what year it was, but it was at First Ave in Minneapolis, huge venue, and whatever happened was, I don't even remember what, this must have been a paid dues thing. I can't remember, but what happened was he was like, hey, I'm going to chug a bottle of water and then immediately regurgitate it onto you while you freestyle. And I'm like, okay, let's go. So there's no video footage of it, but there's a photo of it, which looks disgusting. But honestly, it wasn't, to me, it wasn't that weird or gross. It kind of was like him spitting a bunch of water on me. But
Well, it was just
More,
water, though.
more than that, more than a
Water and
mouthful.
a
Well,
little
regurgitated
stomach,
water. It's still gross.
stomach acid water.
There was no,
Well,
there was nothing. It was good. It tasted good. There was no smell about it.
Was there an
Oh, and it was on my belly. It was on my belly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Were you laying flat on your back?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Was there an unspoken competition over who had the best set each night?
I don't think so, because our sets were so drastically different, and I think that's what made it a perfect kind of show, because Dibbs goes out there, he doesn't even say anything.
Yeah.
And he has the visual accompaniment and the music. So he's playing beats and scratching, and he has the incredible video that you put together for his whole set.
Thank you.
So you were the phantom member of this tour, because you were with us the whole way through, and we only got to see you guys once, but in person. So he does that. He's the DJ without a rapper. I'm the rapper without a DJ. I go out there and do all the words and do all the body motions and the jumping up and down. And then Atmosphere combines everything and even adds more. So it's the one MC, two DJs, visual accompaniment. So it's like everything then culminates at the end of the show for the Atmosphere set, where it's basically a festival set. They do what you would do at a festival. They have the visuals that you would have at a festival. And so nothing felt like, I'm never going to compete with that. I'm never going to, like, on this tour, I'm not trying to outdo that. Mm-hmm. And he's not trying to outdo what I'm doing during my solo set. And
Right.
Dibbs isn't even a rapper. He's not even trying to pump himself up behind the turntables. He's just totally into this intricate beat mixing, scratching thing. So yeah, all of us
that makes
played our own significant part to make it a memorable experience for the showgoer, I would say.
I think it was. Every time I'd see pictures, I was just like, oh my God, I wish I was there for every moment of it. I mean, obviously I know the work that goes behind it, but yeah, it just, from the first show, I know that they were all really awesome, massive.
I don't know if Slug thought it out, or who thought out the order, but I thought it was a nice order, and it was progressive constantly.
It was perfect for me. I do love being an opener. I love getting a fresh crowd, and being the first to really address them, and not having to do too long of a set, and there's still more of a show to go. It's the perfect setting for me, because I get to sell my merch, I perform, go back to the merch booth, and then people who I impress during my set then come to the merch booth and buy merch. Yeah. So merch was a big thing on this tour. I didn't bring nearly enough. I was constantly trying to get replenished along the way. We had several different printers in different cities printing up shirts at the last minute. We were sending out expensive packages so that I could grab the merch and sell more. So that was one oversight on my part, because I haven't been accustomed to selling that much merch since probably my Copper Gone tour in 2014. Is that right? 2014? Yeah, geez.
I think so.
Yeah. So, and
14.
I don't know, the tours that I've been a part of, or the shows I've been part of, it's like people aren't buying CDs.
Right.
But on this one, I have all my CDs on the table, and they're $15 each. I never sold CDs for $15 ever. And they're like, I'll take one of each. I'm like, you got it. So, but one of the vast differences, and we're going back to the performance, when we first toured together, and there's videos of it online, which I looked at while I was on tour, because I was like, what's different about this one? Like something's super different about us. It's all working well, but it's like there's something I'm not remembering right. And it's the fact that Atmosphere was putting on the same exact style of set that I was, or I should say, we were both just rocking off of a DJ. It was us with a microphone, and there was no other razzle dazzle happening. I happened to have just continued doing that, never changing up, except for getting rid of the DJ and simply going all solo.
Yeah.
He just built his stage show bigger and bigger and bigger, and I stayed the straight line. Like he built that mountain with a mountain of a staff that he continually employs. And there's so many people doing so much stuff. I look at it, it's it's a film set. It's a military operation. A lot of people relying on each other to do things and make it work. And they do. They're a great team. They're great people. But that, man, does no, I'm very comfortable doing it my way. I'm not trying to, I don't want to say I don't want to get bigger or more popular, but maybe I don't, because I know what I have to do in order to get to their level. And it's just thinking about it exhausts me and it scares me. And I've been very lucky. I mean, I was lucky, super lucky. That slug asked me to be on this tour because it replenished my bank account in a significant way when I most needed it. I was bouncing checks before the tour started. Things got a little scary on the business side and personal side.
Sure.
And then boom, here comes the tour. Because when I toured with Atmosphere the first time, that really helped propel my touring career. I mean, doing it this time, it's I just reconnected with all my old fans and made new fans.
Yeah.
This is and we're working it, it's I don't just say it's one and done. I continue to go about it in a way where I would like to do stuff that they can support and do more shows that they can attend. But I won't be able to tour like I did in my 20s and 30s. No.
First, I mean, you got other priorities now on the plate. If I could say too, I feel like it also, even though Atmosphere has not stopped touring, and they've got a huge fan base, I have never left the fanship of Atmosphere. Being a hip hop head, but I know a lot of hip hop heads have left because they call it quote unquote dad rap, or it's not cool enough for them anymore. But I feel like people who came to see you on that tour, hip hop heads or people who enjoy your style, I feel like they could see Atmosphere perform and be reminded of, this fucking Atmosphere, Slug and the Atmosphere, they know what they're doing. They're fucking good at what they do. And it re-enthused them about why they liked Atmosphere back in the day. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a bit of this and a bit of that. Some people were I can speak as a fan because I was a fan of Atmosphere before I toured with them. The raw stuff, the early Atmosphere stuff was so raw. That is my connection to Atmosphere. When they do the more glossy stuff, there's a disconnect for me. I don't totally connect to it the way that I do the early material. But that's every band, that's every rapper. It's you always connect. If you got into them early, you knew all their early stuff and you knew what you loved about it, that's always going to be your go-to. And of course, there was, like I said, there was fans of theirs who weren't fans of mine, and there was fans of mine who were not fans of theirs on some of these shows, which blows my mind. We come from the same source, we express it a little bit differently. Our presentation is different, but we come from the same source, and we're actually presenting a very similar message, but it's delivered in different ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is interesting to see that. I'm just surprised when people really get aggressively hate his change. Yeah, obviously it's not you don't stick with. Well, fuck it doesn't matter.
Are we going to talk about sick twisted ending?
The sick twist ending.
Sick twist.
Yes.
Not twisted.
Yes.
Twist.
Yeah, we can. Well, I was going to talk about it when we got to if there were things that you wanted to speak on about what's coming up and what has just recently come up. Is there something else that you want to add to? I guess that's been out for about a month, just the actual shipping of it.
Oh yeah, so the Sick Twist Ending CD and cassettes have been shipped out. Now, this is the last of the Sick of mixtape series. This is what I kicked off in 1999 with Sick of Waiting. It was a cassette tape. And the image we already talked about, that's, the picture, everything came from that. And before this tour started, I should have thought about it beforehand, but it got really close to the tour starting and I didn't have any new material to present. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't think of this before. Let me put together a mixtape the way I did all my other mixtapes, and my mixtapes, the Sick of mixtape formula is I use very old stuff and unreleased stuff and like a hodgepodge of stuff that it doesn't sound like studio recordings. Mostly is not, like, it's not very pristine, but is raw and it's interesting and funny and weird. And I'm like, all right, now, and live recordings and freestyles from when I was on the radio. So what I had to do...
How old were you on that freestyle on the radio about?
You're mentally handicapped, and my sweet tooth ain't got no taste for your candy wrap. You must have had your wisdom teeth pulled at an early age. I think it's about time you ask your girlie about Sage, and ask your mama about Paul Francis. I taught that nine to all the dancers, had to let her know though, I ain't no Sage Escobar with cocaine dreams who claims cream and coastal rivalries became mainstream. While people scream and claim their states, I state my claims.
All of them were from like 97, I think, or 98.
It's like 20. So young. You sound like a fresh out the boat kid.
Yeah, and I had a young energy too, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, so I kind of scraped the bottom of the barrel. Like, okay, these are the last of the recordings people haven't heard yet. I had all that material I did with Buck 65, and so I mean that was the meat and potatoes of this mixtape, as far as like fully fleshed out songs that just weren't like professionally mixed and mastered. I had to throw them on this mixtape because I needed it. I needed all this stuff. And by the end of it, and I was recording on the spot, like there's some things I just recorded on the spot so it could be on the mixtape. And when all was said and done, it to me came out as a quintessential Sick of mixtape that you would expect from me. Some like hilarious, some blah, like not just some things that were like maybe you tilt your head at, you're like, I don't know, but he's young on it, so that's cool. It's like you get to see a journey of a person through hip-hop and how he expresses himself. So I'm glad I got to get that done just before the tour. And we were doing the lyric videos for a lot of the songs on it, so while I was touring I would record long shots, and then Swell from the Meter Maids would put together the lyric video for the song. So the first one we did was Crunchy. That was right before the tour started. That was me walking in my backyard.
You got a cyclical nature, but my pickup and drop off are at different locations, cause I am in and out of states, plus I'm interdimensional. Overwork, transponder, my research has been seminal. Climate change is on pace to erase the unethical. Technological advances man thinks are incredible. And that is bull. Like the girl, Earth doesn't need saving, even when man disappears.
Then another, a variety of songs came out after that, but it was all of me on tour, like driving, long drives.
This is Junk Bro Betty versus Cutthroat Freddy. You'll be singing different tunes once I chuck those machetes. Thanks for the ill will, the whole truckload you sent me. So what, now I'm the utmost petty. You were like, welcome to the gun show. Meanwhile the gun blows confetti for parade day. Just get my duck boats ready, cause all roads lead to the one I run. Don't tell me you run any streets, don't speak, undergo therapy till you...
Walking through the venue before anyone gets in there, showing the backstage area, stuff like that.
Light as a feather, light as a feather, light as a feather, light as a feather, stiff as a board, writing a letter addressed to the Lord, kissing the floor, staring at the walls, praying for everything that I can afford. Went to the morgue, pulled out a drawer, identified bodies that I never saw, like 7 or so. I said him the thought. One of them said I was destined for more. One of them told me to fall on my sword. I pulled out a pen and then started to draw. Stick figures of sick, sinister images hitting the deck to avoid the sword. I decided to swing the cup.
It was cool. It was like everything was happening while the tour was happening, and so much activity that we normally don't see in such a condensed amount of time. I'm glad it felt like we were making the most of it.
It does take you on like a journey through time though.
Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do. Yeah.
It just goes back and forth, but you just like in your head, you go, if you're as old as us, you go like, where was I when this? Yeah, because it sounds like the time, and you're like, this sounds like when I was 17.
Yeah,
or it's a very fun album.
Yeah, it really is. It's
and you say some really funny stuff on that Crunchy song, and I can't remember what right now, but I was just laughing when I was listening. Not laughing bad, but you were just saying funny shit.
I also love the posse cut on there. The whole thing, like I said, was saying in the intro, the whole fucking thing is like quintessential Sage mixtape. Are you saying when you say it's the last one, is this like Rolling Stones on tour last one, or do you think that's it?
It's the last sick of mixtape, like that.
Yeah.
What I just explained, how
Yeah.
I compile those things. So if I do another mixtape, it won't be a sick mixtape, and I won't have a bunch of old material on it.
Right.
And I don't even know what kind of mixtape I would want to do. I mean, it might be totally over. I mean, if I do recordings moving forward, it's going to be with the objective is to release it when it's done.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you are working on.
That's what I was just going to get to. So yeah, the question that everyone always asks you everywhere, and when's the new album coming out? You have announced that you will be finishing up your album this year.
Yes, so the album should be out. I would like it for the beginning of the fall. I have a lot of stuff that I can do. I probably will end up with more than one album. I'm going to record enough songs where I figure out what works best together, how I want to go about releasing these things. Because I won't tour around the next album, but I think we'll be doing another Atmosphere Mr. Dibbs tour next year. So if I release this solo album toward the end of this year, I will basically tour it with Atmosphere. So I'll have that new material, a new album to work with.
And that's something that's kind of still being worked out. But the idea of it was like this tour was maybe a test run of it, or it was just to try out the small cities. But if that, they'll be doing like the major cities if you guys end up doing this tour.
I wonder if it was purposed like that. Like I wonder if they thought, I'm not sure this is going to work. Let's play all the backwoods cities and like bumfuck nowhere towns.
Yeah.
The D markets, the C markets. But I think he just thought that was a great way to play these areas that they normally don't play either.
Yeah.
And make them think, oh, we definitely have to check out this show because Sage and Dibbs are on it. Where these people have probably seen Atmosphere 5 or 6 or 7 times, and they're not just going to go to another Atmosphere show unless there's this extra element to it. And that's how it worked out. So I think, but I don't think they were prepared for how well it did.
Yeah.
And wow, okay, what's going to happen when we take this to the A markets now? So I think that's that could potentially be a huge thing that I'm excited about, but I'm also apprehensive about because
Sure.
I really worked my ass off on this tour.
Yeah.
And now you're going to raise it a couple levels, and
would that?
I might have to get someone else involved with my team.
I was just going to say, did you, from that, if you ended up doing the A market, would you likely need to bring along a driver, or at least someone that can drive? And
a drive-in merch person would be the most important. Although, man, I love the way we did it this time. I like driving by myself. I like being by myself, especially after being around 1,000 people.
Yeah.
I'm like there's so much stimulation. I'm overstimulated. When I leave that, it's such a wonderful feeling. Like I go to my hotel room and it's crickets. It's quiet. I only have to worry about me. Like I don't have to entertain anyone with conversation. I don't have to fulfill any obligations regarding anybody else. I love it.
You would have to definitely find a like-minded individual.
And I work out the expenses because Swell was on my ass about it. He was like, dog, you need a person. Yo, you need someone. You need help. You need a team. You shouldn't be doing this all by yourself, Sage. And so I was like, well, listen, I said, at the bare minimum, what would I be paying somebody to drive and do merch where they would feel well compensated and not call me an asshole at the end of the tour? And we figured, I gave a conservative number, and then I said, at the end of the tour, that would cost me $14,000. I don't want to pay $14,000 for something that I can do on my own.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to put that money into the college fund for the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, just because it would have made it more comfortable for me, and I would get to read a couple books instead of drive the whole time, it's not worth $14,000.
Yeah.
And again, that is a conservative figure. Like that is like the lowest someone would be paid who would do a job that you could expect to be good.
Yeah.
You know,
and you didn't find on this round that it affected your performance. So
it did not.
Yeah,
Nothing
so,
affected my performance at all. I
it
didn't
would just be a
lose my
luxury.
voice. I like everything. The performance was the easiest part of the whole tour.
Yeah.
The hardest part was the drives because my eyes had become very light sensitive. Nighttime driving is a problem for me. And even daytime driving when the sun is setting, like I get white out, like my eyes like wash out I can't see. So those were the main issues with me driving myself. But like I said, like I wrote already, I like posted about, I didn't get in a single car accident. I didn't get a single speeding ticket. I didn't get broken into. And I drove 10,000 miles through every condition you could think of.
Yeah, you did.
Every condition, every mountain, every icy road, every snowstorm, every windstorm, every rainfall, through inner cities, you know, and through flatlands that's boring, you know, or a desert for 10 hours. It's like, man, I couldn't have asked for a better outcome for what we all did. Yeah, I'm happy about it.
Yeah, looking in hindsight, now you can look back on it and go, yeah, it all worked out.
I was scared though. I was like, when is the other shoe going to drop? Like, when is something really bad going to happen? Something bad is going to happen because it always happens.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever asked you this. I ask people a lot because I always think it. Do you do that? Are you the type to go like, things have been going too good, something's bound to drop?
Totally. Yeah. I was like convinced.
Me too.
I was convinced something truly tragic was going to happen on the tour because I was like, not even getting a speeding ticket is crazy.
Yeah.
Considering how much driving I did in all these weird small towns that always have stupid speed traps.
Yeah.
You know, like, how am I going to do this and not, like, something bad's going to happen? But I didn't lose a single item on the tour. Like, that is always a given. You're going to lose a favorite shirt or something. That nothing bad happened. The only bad thing was I was away from my family for that long.
Yeah.
You know,
real quick, I know we're like finishing up. One question I did want to know is, how was the adjustment back into the house?
It was fairly easy. It was like easier than I expected it to be. I FaceTimed with my son Frankie for like a lot of it. So we told him I'm going to be gone for a month. He doesn't have a concept of what a month is, but then he just felt what a month was. So now everything is a month to him. He's like, oh, this is taking a month.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But I remember when I first left home to do tour shows, is when I went to London and Europe, and I was gone for a week. And when I came home, Frankie was very withdrawn, and I could tell he was weird about it. But it didn't really happen like that on this one, and I was gone for a very long time. So just staying in touch with him, and my wife explaining everything. My wife was showing him videos from every show, letting him know what I was up to every day. And like he found a lot of humor in what I would send him videos about where I was. And like when I was in Lake Tahoe, they had pine cones the size of like watermelons. It was crazy. And like, so I would always do some silly little video for him it felt like I was around for him, sort of, you know? So that was good.
Yeah, we have those tools now. It's different for families away from, or parents away from their children, it seems like it. Or even friends that are away from each other for long periods of time. Our kids are away from their friends all the time, but they use so much of that online stuff. I mean, they can talk to each other in person. Those are great tools for that. All right, before we wrap up, our dish segment has now been condensed down to just 3 dish questions: 1 first, 1 thirst, and 1 worst. We're trying to streamline all of this. Before I do that, though, I have the closeout dish question. Sophie's choice question. If tomorrow you woke up with an infinite knowledge of either topic, which would be more useful to you? An infinite knowledge of historical Francises or an infinite knowledge of Francis Ford Coppola's wine collection?
Infinite knowledge of Francis's from history. Yeah, I'll choose that one.
Okay.
I have no interest in wine collections.
They're worth money though.
So I could be an expert, and yeah, okay, there's money to be made there. Yeah,
there's money to be made. I mean, he made billions. That's how he made his shit movie that people hate. All right, because he sold some of his.
What was the movie? Which one?
It's that long one.
Irishman?
No.
Oh, that's Scorsese. Sorry.
Yeah, it just came out. He self-produced it, $120 million. It's called, it's a weird one. I haven't watched it yet. It's got Darth Vader. What's that actor's name? Adam Driver. Yeah.
Okay.
Adam Driver's in it. And it's supposed to be, it got a standing ovation at Cannes, but I think it's like a 4-hour-long movie. People hate it, but he sold half. He sold half of his winery.
Well, he invested in himself. That's interesting.
Yep. It is interesting. What I find interesting in this day and age, someone like Francis Ford Coppola can't get funding for his movie.
Yeah,
like that's crazy.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
DOD45.
It's raw. It's fucking raw.
How much do you charge for this dish?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Ask you what your interests are. Do you like it? Who you gonna be talking to?
First things first, the first what's this?
Talk, questions, conversations, laughter.
All right, here's your dish, first, worst, and thirst. Here we are. The table is set. Thanks, Buddy Peace, for the dish theme music. Thank you, Sage, for joining us. Here we go. Here's your first question. When's the first time you realized that words had real power, whether to move a crowd, start a fight, or completely backfire on you?
The one that sticks out to me, the earliest memory of me using a word that had a deep effect on someone was, I think I was like 6 or 7 years old, and it was Halloween, and my mom didn't let me go trick-or-treating for some reason. I was so pissed off, and I was screaming, and I was like, I never used like curse words around my parents or my mom. So I was coming up with different things to say, because I wouldn't yell bitch or anything like that, but I was like, bag lady. And so somehow me coming up with bag lady, she was the most hurt, and she was so offended, and like it made her cry, and I was stuck in my room for the whole night, and I remember her reaction to that. And even though it was just a random thing I came up with, like I would have said anything, right?
Yeah.
But her being called a bag lady really fucked her up. And I feel so bad about it to this day. I love my mom. I love you, Mom. If you're watching, I'm sorry. You should have let me go trick-or-treating, though. That was wrong.
Well, quite creative. That's a way better word to come up with. Understanding the power of the word. You say you're like 6 or 7. You understood that, a word was all you could do.
Yeah.
It worked.
And I think moving forward and to reflect on my career, I have a good track record of coming up with the right words that work in the moment, that are offensive too, or in a battle. Like I'll find that one thing that is obscure or seems totally random, but it really works, and it affects the other person. So that's just a particular skill I was born with, I guess.
Yeah. So all you MCs out there that want to battle rap with Sage, just remember you could get called a bag lady.
A bunch of bag ladies.
All right, here's your worst question. So you've been in the game long enough to rack up plenty of highlights, but let's flip it. What's the absolute worst reaction you've ever had to a song that you've performed live?
All right, there's not many instances of that, but the one that really sticks out is when I was performing at the Wu-Tang Clan's 10-year anniversary, where it's the first time they were all supposed to perform on stage together. This was like 2 months before ODB passed away. And it was the very first Rock the Bells show. In California, there's a documentary on it called Rock the Bells, which is very difficult to find because of the name. But I had the crowd totally with me. right up until I got to a song called Spaceman, which is off of the Nonprofits album.
Wipe me down, clean me up, wipe me down, clean me up, wipe me down. I'm perfectly silent and unthreatening. They like me now. Clean me up, wipe me down, wipe me down, clean me up, wipe me down, wipe me down, clean me up, wipe me down. I'm perfectly quiet and unmenacing. They like me now. A pipe bomb of my.
And I told the sound man to turn up my reverb and all the echoes. I said I want all the echo. I wanted to echo a lot, and all it ended up being was echo. So you couldn't hear any words. And I'm rapping this whole song. It's just constant echo and repetition of sounds. And the crowd got so pissed off they started throwing things at me.
Oh shit!
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, and that recording is used at the end of my Escape Artist song, the audio recording where I was like telling people who were throwing stuff at me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
what that's from that.
Yeah, that's from that show.
I'll never fall in love with you. Ever. If you got lost, so that
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I even have recordings. Someday I'll unleash them, but I was enjoying it. Like, to me, it was funny and weird. But apparently, because I have a film of it, there was another prominent rapper backstage watching along with other people I know. And Idea and Abilities were there watching it happen. And they were like, he's killing his career, man. What's he doing? And awesome. I come backstage, I'm full of smiles. I'm like, wasn't that awesome? And everyone's like, dude, you just ruined your whole career. You're about to you just signed to Epitaph. What the fuck are you doing?
While you were doing it, could you were your monitors also giving you all that reverb?
Yeah, I could tell. I saw when I lost the crowd, and there's nothing I could have done in the moment. And they were so tired of openers that show. They just wanted Wu-Tang Clan. So yeah. I knew what I was going up against at that moment. And
that's funny. All right, here's your final dish question with your favorites. Let's say you're forced to do an endorsement deal, but you can only rep one totally random snack or beverage for the rest of your life. What's your brand?
All right. I've never been endorsed. I've never had a sponsorship. But I've always thought if I could lock one down, I would want it for a seltzer company, sparkling water. And ICP, back to ICP, they made Faygo a thing.
Right.
So, and I don't even think Faygo sponsors them. I think they purchased the Faygo. But the only reason anyone knows what Faygo is outside of Detroit is ICP. Now, Faygo is they're sister brands with LaCroix. They're a sister brand of LaCroix, and they're owned by the same company. And I was always thinking, man, like, I could do the LaCroix thing the way that ICP does Faygo, and I'll spray the whole crowd with my non-sticky sparkling water, and the clubs don't have to worry about cleanup and all that. It's just water, that's good. Yeah. So, but healthy. I don't want to fuck LaCroix. Like it does. Slug mentioned this to me. Is like it smells like you're drinking perfume sometimes, depending on the flavor. So I would go with the Kirkland sparkling water, water, and that's what I want, and that's what I'm aiming for, and that's what I hope happens. And if anyone is out there who can make this happen and hook it up,
hook it up, Costco employees.
Please, Kirkland. I go to Whole Food. I mean, I go to Costco once a week just to replenish our, seltzer supply, because the kids love it. We have 3 kids, and my wife, we all drink it. It's like, bam, they're out the gate right as soon as I bring them home.
Well, you got to come up with a little. You have to come up with a little rap for the Kirkland, because what's the little rhyme we know about LaCroix, Adrian?
Sorry, I can't remember.
It's like, because people thought it was
enjoy.
Something
enjoy. Something.
Yeah, because people thought it was pronounced LaCroix. Like some people think they're bougie.
It was on their website.
But it was on their website. It was like, you enjoy LaCroix or some shit like that. I don't know. But yeah, Kirkland's a harder one to rhyme.
No, Kirkland, sparkling water from Kirkland for your mom, daughter, and the workman. I don't know. I'll think of something.
Yes.
Sparkling water. Like, like I'll give him a regional accent. I'll make things special. I just want free seltzers.
They need a new label. The cans are not good. Yeah.
Totally. We'll rebrand them. We'll make
How
them
dope would it be though to have the image, your face on the can? That's a great image. They'd be K's. Well, no, that might look like KKK.
I was gonna
say. What's your water?
Mine.
Mountain
I love.
Death?
Death.
What's that?
Liquid Death.
Liquid Death. Yeah. So you could.
Is that an energy drink?
No, just water. From the mountains. Yeah, and they made billions
from mountains. Somebody's tap.
I tried to get them to sponsor the show, but now they already sponsor Steve-O's show and everyone else's.
This is done, man. Brings them down to the shot.
There you go, folks. We've been served. Check, please. All right, Sage, let's wrap you up. What's the next move for you professionally or personally? Or what? You already know how to do this. What do you want fans to know about that's coming up? What are things that people need to keep focus on?
All right. So I only have 2 shows so far planned for this year. I will be headlining the Happiness of Pursuit Festival in Ontario, California on April 12th, exactly 1 month from when this is being recorded. So that is a smaller festival. It's definitely going to sell out. It's in a venue, but Afro's on it and Locksmith. And the other show I got planned, I'm working out some big things for in Rhode Island. We're going to be playing at the Ocean Mist on July 12th. And the Ocean Mist is the first venue where I started doing big shows when I was in college. So when I was playing with my band, so we would have our college crowds come out to it. And in fact, that's, I threw a show for Atmosphere at the same club when I was out that way. So this is my first time returning to that venue since that show I did with Atmosphere. And that was 25 years ago. Wow. So this is cool. It's like I'm hitting up a part of Rhode Island I don't typically perform in. I'm going to bring the Meter Maids, Mopes, and Jesse the Tree to perform with me. And they are in a group called the Baldwin Brothers. So their album, The Baldwin Brothers, should be out by that time. This is going to be the record release show for them, I hope. We also filmed a documentary of the making of the Baldwin Brothers album, and we're going to have a screening of that at the venue.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to have like a mini Strange Famous Fest in this venue that holds 350 people.
Is that an all ages venue?
That's a good question. It's a bar, easy. So I'm not really sure.
That's easy for people to find out, though.
Well, I'm just wondering if I'm able to convince my wife to let me go for my birthday. Can my son come in? Because he'll be traveling with us.
Well, we can make anything work.
Sneak him in.
Okay.
No, it's really not up to me. It's up to Madison, Wisconsin. Sorry.
If we end up getting out there and you guys need, and we are able to pull that off for you, and anyone has just a song that needs an acoustic, and I'm able to, my son plays the guitar.
We can do Johnny and Kill Johnny. We could do As It Is.
That'll get me it there.
Let Sage finish. Let Sage finish.
Sorry, Sage.
All right, so that right now that is what's occupying like the work part of my brain because I really want to make that show special.
Yeah.
We're gonna rent out an Airbnb. The next day we're gonna do some filming and just a SFR banquet. The homie, the Lebanese Scrooge, wants to do a show, but I kind of just want him to cater our event and film it and let us all talk. And I think that would make for a very good episode. But yeah, everything right now is up in the air, but like Driving Scientists are talking about coming out. Black Lick is always down. He's moving to Brooklyn. So he's going to be more. Yeah, he's going to be more in our area now. So outside of Strange Famous stuff, which there is a lot of, because I'm waiting for the Orpheus album to be released. And I'm not even sure what the name of it is, but it was supposed to be released while I was on tour. But it has me on it. It has Buck 65. It has Slug, Illogic, Soul, a bunch of Blueprint, Bobby Freedom. It's weird that it's not ready to go just yet, but expect that within the next month unless we have to do something else. But Old Boy Rhymes just finished an album with Ariano. Ariano is a singer and a producer. So they're mixing and mastering that now, and that should be coming out before summer.
I sent a picture image over. He was considering using my work. I sent it over to Storm, so that could possibly be the cover for that.
Yeah, and that was a cool idea on his part because it kind of looks like an evolution of the first album cover from his the Sane Asylum album. Outside of that, Jesse the Tree is doing another album produced by Mopes. We're trying to get that out before the Baldwin Brothers album. Lee Reed from Canada, he's got an album coming out on May 1st. May Day, and that's a very political leaning socio-aggressive album. Yes,
I need a lot of aggressive music right now.
We were going to do it last year, but he wanted to get videos done for it first, and it was important to him that we release it on May 1st. So we're just waiting for this May 1st to do it. But yeah, I know I'm missing somebody, but that's a lot of stuff, right? Like,
yes,
I can't. I get a problem. Because I need to record my own album. I need to record my own stuff. I need to think about how to set up my project and not be totally inundated by everyone else's stuff. Yo, Cast One is sending me some incredible songs.
Yes.
And I'm like, dude, right now is such a bad time.
These are good.
That's what he loves to hear.
Do it last year. But no, it's like I can't turn away such good material. Like, I love this music. So what we need is another Sage and another Storm to.
You need interns.
I know, but like interns, I don't ever want to hear an intern complain about like I don't give them what they deserve. Like, shut the fuck up. I don't care. Like, do you want experience? Do you want to have access to a lot of like stuff that normal people don't? Do you want to learn that way? Because I'm like, we're not $1 million company, you know?
Right.
We're scraping by as it is, but
some people would be surprised to know that. I know when we first started the DOD45, I was surprised that a lot of the people we were talking to actually had day jobs. I thought like rappers were just like, that was your living.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a lot of people would be surprised to know that people have to work too. The music business is changed.
I mean, that people sometimes reach out and like it peters out. Nothing really happens. I just would need to be more aggressive about hiring people who I can trust and who are going to be useful and not just be a burden. People I have to hold their hands through a process and like, you know what? It's easier if I do it myself.
Yep.
You know?
That takes time to try to trust.
But yeah,
someone.
we do need something to help me and Storm do what we need to do when we have so many projects that are in the balance.
Which is so much easier said than done.
Because
it is hard for people like both of you to let go and let somebody else do things.
How's your finger holding up? You feeling all right?
Yeah, it feels pretty
it looks
good.
tight though. That's a cool look.
Yeah.
You got a finger jacket. That's tight.
I do. I feel good about it. Any final words you want to say or anything you gotta?
I would just shout out to everybody. Shout out to y'all. You really were a phantom presence on the Imagine the Fun tour.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing what else we all do, and hopefully we get to do a lot of stuff together. Shout out to my family. Thank you for holding down the fort while I was gone. My wife, who I know was probably super overwhelmed with all the tasks she had to do while I was overwhelmed with the tasks I had to do. The only difference was I got an applause every night and she got booed by the kids. So,
it's a different atmosphere. Well, thanks so much, Sage. Thank you for everything, and we'll be in touch.
All right, love y'all.
Okay. Love ya.
Bye, Sage.
Well, my first time was with marriage material. It was after a burial. I was playing a laugh track on the stereo. My jazz hands were full in effect. Whether pleasurable or painful, I couldn't detect. I was a wreck and it was all.
Okay, there you go. Oh, he sure is a delight, isn't he?
He is.
Man, I talk with Sage all day. How about? It's wild to think.
He was our first.
Sage was our first episode. And while I was uploading all these old episodes, I watched the actual raw footage of the episode. Not the whole thing, but just that we were talking with Sage. And at the end of the recording of our first time recording with Sage, some 4 years ago almost now. Yeah.
Something.
2020. Yes, almost 5 years ago. We had a conversation after that wasn't aired. And, just...
Oh, you and him?
Yeah, well, we were on talking to him about... He was like, yeah, if you guys don't have any other guests you want to be on the show, etc. But
we were nervous.
I was very nervous. Still am. I always... Even every time... Like, not nervous. I mean, it's...
2020 was 5 years ago, but I don't think that we did this.
We didn't do it right. We did it towards the end of the pandemic, but a hell of a delight. Really was. Really such a pleasure speaking with him. What's up?
Nothing. Just a delight.
That's a real word.
I know.
Well, why you giggle?
I don't know.
That was so fresh. That was dopamine.
He should have ended with Audi 5000.
Audi 5. Shit. I'll get out with that.
No, Sage should have.
I know, but now I'll use it. There you go, everybody.
Audi Flouty or
Audi Flouty. Before you opt to sign off, don't forget our episode's not completely over until you've heard Blacklick's last words. He's got a lot going on. Apparently, I didn't know he was moving to New York, but
that's big news.
I have a bunch of pre-recorded ones in the can, so
him and Swell will be neighbors.
Oh yeah. He seems like a New Yorker, not a Virginian. But I'll use up the rest of Blacklicks. I don't know if we'll continue doing that. I don't want to burden anybody with stuff.
Okay. So you'll just cut this in case.
No. I have a bunch. He sent me a bunch.
You have more.
So I will use those up until they're over. And if he wants to continue, then that's fine. But this episode's not over till you've heard Blacklicks. Here's the finished drawing below. There's a sea lion. There you go. Sea lion. If you like this drawing that I did on this episode or any of the past drawings, you can get those at ArtByTai.com or at DOD45.com. What's up?
Nothing.
Why you keep giggling? It's like throws me off. I'm like, what did I do something wrong?
Nothing.
All right, here's what's up? What? Is there something on your mind? Speak your mind or forever hold your peace. All right, we're going to wrap up with some with some recommendations, show recommendations. My movie recommendation is a movie called The Limey.
So,
you're English.
Yeah, that's right. Got called out to LA unexpectedly. Do a job of work.
No rest for the wicked.
I don't even remember the year it came out. I'm guessing 2000. It's directed by Steven Soderbergh, and it stars Terrence Stamp. He's a British dude. Peter Fonda and Louise Guzman. I love Louise Guzman. It's a revenge thriller, but it's got a real art house vibe to it. Terrence Stamp is a British ex-con looking for the truth about his daughter. Peter Fonda plays a washed-up, sleazy 60s musical mogul dude, and the movie's totally Soderbergh style. But it's a grittier version. It's not all polished. It's really fantastic. It's got this non-linear storytelling, and what I mean by that is it cuts between past and present. Sometimes in mid-sentence in the scene, like while the scene's happening, it's all of a sudden there's exact same sentence of someone talking, but it's all in a different location, and it makes it like really kind of feel like you're in the mind of the main character. For a lot of people, that probably ruins the movie for them because you're one of those people that's a little too much for you.
Well, just like what Sage was just saying, how he had to hold their hands to walk them through. We've seen it all the time now in movies that they have to tell you what's happening. Which is crazy for a movie.
This will be a movie that if you're one of those people that need to be spoon-fed or handheld through it, you will not like this movie.
It may not work nowadays because I just talked to you about this, but I heard that the Netflix greenlights movies where it's fine when people are checking their cell phones.
The idea of the movie, or they want movies that people can also be checking their phone.
Well, they know they're going to be on their phone anyway, so they spoon feed them
so they dumb it all down.
What's happening? So they just say, "Oh, and here comes Spider." I don't know if it's Spider-Man, but anyway. So
we're in for a ride for some shitty movies from Amazon and Netflix.
These guys put their phones away. They might not be able to handle your movie.
If you're the type to be on your phone while you're watching a movie. Fucking get over yourself, you idiots. Stop watching movies if you can't watch a movie
I
without
see you on your phone during movies.
Most movies I watch, I've seen 40 times.
Okay, that's true. That is true.
Anyway, point being, this is one of those movies. Take it with a grain of salt. It is fantastic, but you have to pay. You have to participate in it. That style, that whole thing that happens, how they're switching between times. We use that. We borrowed that concept for our movie Darkroom, and if you watch those movies side by side, you'll see we had scenes where they're talking and it's happening in a whole other location. In mid sentence, it goes back and forth. Anyway, it's really cool shit. Also, there's a genius thing that happens in this movie, The Limey. Soderbergh, for the flashback scenes, there's a bunch of flashback scenes, but they use real footage from Terrence Stamp's 1967 film Poor Cow, but they use it as if it's like archival footage of. It's just it was brilliant to use it because it's this old. It's when Terrence Stamp's younger.
I will take your word for that.
Yeah, great fucking movie. Great jazz infused soundtrack. It's got a real film noir kind of dreamlike feel to it. If you like revenge films with artistry, this is more of like a Point Break than the movie Taken, but even more artistry than, Point Break's not really. Anyway, Point Blank, not Point Break.
Okay, because I'm like, I think that was about surfing, but I don't think I really watched it. So.
I bet Point Blank.
The revenge I'm down with.
Yeah,
Is that what you said? Revenge?
Yeah, it's a revenge. It's a revenge
or
film.
Something?
Revenge film. A sleek, stripped down version of Soderbergh, but I think it's one of Soderbergh's best. Check it out. Let me know what you think. I really enjoy it.
You take your ass home.
Adrian, do you have a song share for us today?
I do, and it might be a little bit weird to be doing this on this episode, but I have.
Why is it someone who's dissed Sage? Is it?
Maybe.
Uh-oh.
It is Sage. It's got up this morning. And the thing I've always loved about this song is it, like the harmonic comes on and it just kind of like rips out your soul and just kind of shakes it out a little bit. And then, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it just
brings
has that
out your insides
Delta blues vibe.
It's not that what we're doing is wrong. Let's try to keep this here secret between me, you, and this song. Menage a trois that sings to me sinfully, and God plays along.
That.
Yeah. It just like, there goes your soul.
I was sweet on her, she was sweet on Jesus. And we slept with a blanket barrier between us. Master of a craft, I had her laughing like hyenas.
Okay, so
great song, Sharon.
On his new album,
on the
Twist mixtape, this is on there.
Yep.
And I love this one too because he's aggressive, and I feel like the kick is that beat. Is that the kick?
I don't know what part you're talking about.
It's louder.
Yeah.
And I love
the kick drum.
Yeah.
Or the bass rhythm with the guitar riff.
No, I think it's a drum.
Oh, let me hear what.
But it doesn't have the harmonica at the beginning. And it's different vocals.
Yeah.
Talk. But it's aggressive, and I love it.
Say, goddamn. I hold this mic like a burden. Came up through the ranks, earned my stripes, then burned them. I go down hard like bourbon, straight. But there's an edge to the message. Got fucking music to make, got fucking people to motivate, fucking evil to overtake. Well, they ain't open, I'ma still proceed through golden gates with pitchforks and one unlit torch, demanding from the guard exactly what the fuck we want. And that's our fire back, plus a wider path through this little valley. It's a shady side deal and some back alley.
And that one also has like the original sample of that vocal, whereas I think on the finished, should we call it finished? The other version, the
first version,
the released earlier version has somebody singing that.
Yeah.
But and then I think on the polished version, we'll say either there's a slide in the background or it's a synth that sounds like a slide or a slide with like an echo.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, that's my song share.
Good song share. Sage is so good.
And I don't mean to share it on a day that he's here, but
he's probably logged out by now.
He's watching. Oh, he can't go watch Love Is Blind.
No, the music video to that song, Brother Ali and Slug are in the music video of that song. They're playing
I didn't even know there was a music
they're
video.
They're playing poker in like they're all dressed up in like cowboy. I want to say cowboy attire.
Spirits were lifted when she whispered something French in my ear. Tension was there. When I responded in English, it sounded less sincere. The sex in the air couldn't be left alone. So welcome to the Terror Dome, a bedroom full of pheromones where nothing that we say is set in stone. If I thought it was for posterity, I'd already be writing better poems. But I'm talking in extremes, best this and best that. Let's not regret.
It's like kind of like an old Western kind of, maybe not cowboy, like old 50s West gangster
You'll have
mobster
to
types.
Show a clip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the Delta blues and I love having the rapping on it.
Yeah. And
it brings it current. It's like that like when Buck 65 does his country
yeah, the hoedown.
stuff.
Yeah.
Which I would never listen to, but I just absolutely love it because it's nice.
Yeah. Great stuff. Good stuff.
What
Excellent
about you?
song share. I'm going to go to Chesky Ramos has a song share for us. Chesky Ramos of Fake 4. His song share is a song called Pup by Hallways.
It took me a while to let it sink in. The way that you never say what you're really thinking. It took me a while to find out. I keep fighting the feeling.
It's a lo-fi indie meets shoegazy with a confessional tone. For fans of Alex G, Elliott Smith, or early Deer Hunter, or people like that, it's got like hazy, introspective, indie, melancholic,
Melancholy.
Melancholic.
Did you just say shoegazy?
Yeah, it's kind of like
It's
low.
shoegaze. It's not shoegazy. I'm not the only one who thought it was shoegazy.
Well, I don't know. Are you sure? Well, it doesn't matter. It's lo-fi indie. I call it shoegazy.
That's what I called it.
Oh no, I don't.
The
That's
kids
what
make
because you said that, and then someone was saying fugazi.
the kids make fun of me for saying shoegazy.
Yeah, that's funny because I have never said shoegazy, and then when you said it, when the kids were talking about that the other day,
Like, it makes sense. And like
it does make sense. But now it like is infected its way. So you know what? Let's roll with it. Let's just call it shoegazy.
Shoegazy.
Yeah, it's got a melancholic sound to it, but a hopeful sound. It's a very specific sound. It is polished, kind of organic.
I love shoegaze.
Well, this doesn't have a shoegaze. It's indie shoegaze.
Okay,
style.
that's. I think they go hand in hand.
I could be way off on that. That's what I feel.
It reminds me of stuff that I used to hear back in my Zoomies days, as we call
It does have that. That's that was indie then. Indie skate, kind of skate music. A little. I hate to use them. Blink 182.
like 311y or that whatever that like in that time frame.
Yeah, in that time frame.
Yeah.
Cool track. Thanks, Chesky. Okay, now my song share. Here's.
Am I fucking you up? Did I throw you
No,
off?
no, no,
Sorry.
no, 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 no.
We
It's all
haven't
good.
done this in a while.
I know we haven't recorded for a little bit. It's fine. I think it's all going well. It's a little longer than I was trying to do. But here, my song share is a song called "Push Off" by the Palms. I really fucking love this song. I don't know where I discovered it. It's got an indie surf kind of vibe that sticks with you. It's a groove that puts you in a certain kind of mood, like the windows down, late night driving kind of energy vibe to it. Real chill vocals. It's got a clean sound, but it also has got a really organic kind of production to it. For people who are interested in checking it out, if you like artists like Glass Animals, Cage the Elephant, or even a little Portugal the Man, I think you'll dig this. It also has Alberta Cross kind of vibes to it.
Okay.
I really dig it. Here it is.
My world, my God, if I'm gonna make it, then it's time that I speak my mind. can't take that away. Wait, so you gonna use me now?
It feels like a summer tune, or not a summer, but
summer.
Oh, see,
But I see what you're saying. Something I definitely listen to. It's like Mumford and Sons or Alberta Cross, something like that.
I hear like cruising down with palm trees.
Highway 1.
Something.
No, it's a good song.
Yeah, great song. All right. There you go, everybody. I think you'll dig it. Subscribe to the DOD45 song share playlist on Spotify, even though we have a relationship with Spotify that probably isn't a healthy one.
As we do with everything.
The song share playlist is called DOD45 Loves, LUVS. If you like the music that we share in that playlist, please consider supporting the artists financially in some form to help, like we discussed with Sage Francis earlier in this episode about how important it is to support. Oh, I was going to mention to him, I wish I could have got to it, but I didn't want to interrupt because I knew we were running long. That thing of when you're buying merch, when you go to a show, or like when people come buy artwork from me at a show, it's very similar to when you go on vacations.
It's impulse.
You spend money that you wouldn't normally spend. It's not just the impulse. It's kind of like part of the thing.
The experience. But like if you're at, say, an art fair or any kind of a fair, you're going to buy the beer or the
Navajo tacos
or the funnel cake.
Yeah.
Where you normally wouldn't eat that, probably. You know,
Yeah.
it's part of, you're right, it's part of the experience. And being there, online sales, you're not there. People aren't having that experience with online shopping. They're on Amazon.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was going to, all right.
I felt that too. I wanted to say something as well, but yeah, you got to get out there. Unfortunately, we all got to get out there.
I know. We there was a time when Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all those things were great avenues. That was like this perfect storm for like, even MySpace was like to let people know, like, hey, it kind of gave us a cushion to not have to be out on the road all the time. Those days are probably long gone now with Amazon shopping and all of that. The place where people are going to feel that impulse to buy. They want to see you in
The
person.
good news is, I think people still want to get out.
Yeah. People are still going out. Yeah,
as long as we can get out and they can get out, I think we will maintain.
Yeah. All right, no more lecturing. I'm not lecturing. I'm just sharing experiences. There's some new music that's out. This isn't part of the share, but Clipping's new album is called Dead Channel Sky. Their album came out on March 14th. If you're a Clipping fan, it's pretty awesome album. They have an Aesop Rock song on there called Welcome Home Warrior. It's a cool track.
Produce all his music?
Who? Clipping? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about Clipping. I've discovered them through our children a while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a cool song with Aesop Rock. And then Dose One's new album that he released back in January with New York City producer called Steel Tip Dove. That album's called All Portrait, No Chorus. It is fantastic. It is really, 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 really good. I think we're going to try to get those two on the show to have a talk with them about it. Dose was brought it up, and I'm way into it. I don't know if Steel Tip Dove is down, but that would be cool to talk to them about it. Things to watch out for from us, our Little Things Gallery show at our gallery in Old Blue Gallery in Hannibal, Missouri. That show is on April 18th, the opening night party. That's featuring artworks from some amazing artists that we know personally and artists all across the world, including Justin Bua, who all of you know. We also got some artwork from past guests. Swanberger's putting in some artwork. Cass One's supposed to have a piece in the show. Even DJ Zoll has some MF Doom pieces that he did. I don't know if he's going to get them to us in time.
Cool.
But yeah, the show is going to be really, really cool.
And even, I think Jared Knight, he was a guest on the
Jared
show.
Knight was a guest on our show. He's got some pieces coming in. So yeah, it's going to be a
There's
really
a lot.
cool show.
Oh, and did you say Remy was putting something in?
Remy Ruff, also, I talked to him yesterday. He's real busy right now, but he's planning on sending a piece to us. He's just finishing up some stuff. So it is going to be a really cool show. There's some really amazing artwork in the show, and all that artwork will be available to purchase. If you're not able to come see it in person, you'll be able to buy all that artwork
Or view it.
Or view it see it on our website at oldbluegng.com. If you're able to make a trip out to Hannibal, Missouri on April 18th, come to the opening night. We throw a pretty good party at our galleries. So,
and if not, we will be open weekends with that show until May. What did I say? 24th or something like that.
So check that out. That's at our Old Blue Gallery. Speaking of Old Blue Gallery, our Old Blue Gallery live series called Old Blue Gallery Live. Yeah. The first episode with the Slughead came out, in January or something? It's got a lot of views. Seems like the viewership is kind of tapered off, which is normal in YouTube world. But our second episode of that is with Cast 1. I've got to finish editing that, but that'll be coming out here very soon. Thanks everybody for watching our show. Thanks for supporting my artwork. With ArtByTai, we have a really crazy schedule up ahead of us. You'll find us in Dallas, Atlanta, St. Louis, Michigan, Oklahoma City. Our whole schedule is on artbytai.com. Thanks again to Sage Francis for joining us on our show. Be sure to pick up his music at strangefamousrecords.com. The new mixtape is on really Bandcamp. Good. On Bandcamp, that's on Bandcamp, but you can get to that through strangefamousrecords.com. Some upcoming episodes. We already have recordings with 18 and Counting, so that's going to be in this series 18. We have a recording already done with Marley B. Both those episodes we recorded with them last year.
Last fall.
Yeah, last fall.
Sorry,
but
guys.
The information's still topical, and they're still dope. So, and then we're supposed to be recording with Mally. He's out of Minnesota. Sometime here is pretty soon. And then we are supposed to be recording with the co-defendants in Las Vegas for a special print edition release of a drawing of a print I did for co-defendants. It's a really cool drawing. So we're going to be doing a recording with everybody in Las Vegas. That's an episode that will be coming up pretty soon. Blueprint is supposed to be recording with us sometime in June or July. So yeah, we got a lot of things coming up. Also, while trying to manage ArtByTai. That's us done. You good?
Yep, it's time to crush the patriarchy. That's what I'm saying.
Your final words?
My final words.
All right. Thanks for spending your evening with us. Tell your friend and family about the DOD45 show and have a terrific week. Now marinate on these last words from Blackwick. Not Blackwick. Blackwick.
I did the same thing. Crush the patriarchy.
Calm down.
Now marinate on these last words from Blackwick.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah, I got some last words.
Any last words?
I have a couple.
Knowing how to listen is just as important as knowing what to say. All right, relationship 101. You know how you really connect with somebody? By shutting the fuck up. If someone's talking with you, they're talking with you. Don't talk at them. Give them space. Let the conversation, like a cipher, let it be filled by completion. You bring your part to the table and they bring theirs. And that table is a circle. Don't be on some square shit where you're using 360 degrees to develop a side. Create that circle through that conversation, and how you do that is by listening. There'll be a time to say what you need to say, and you'll always feel like something wasn't said correctly or completely, or that you left something out. And guess what? That just means the next time you have a conversation, you already have something to say. Now shut up.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
DOD45.
Thank you for joining in on yet another episode of the DOD45 Show. Please hit the subscribe or follow button so that you never miss an episode. You can even go one step further by leaving us a review on the YouTube stream or on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever it is that you stream our show from. You can find me at ArtByTai on all the socials or at ArtByTai.com. And if you'd like to follow the DOD45 Show on social media, we're at DOD45W on Instagram, or you can go over to our website at DOD45.com where you can shoot us an email, join our mailing list, and watch all of our past episodes. Consider joining us for a live chat on the YouTube premieres of episodes now every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Peace.